Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nerve center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga. Let's bring you up to speed with the big stories we're tracking at this very hour. Chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and Governor of Gombe State, Inuayaya, joins me to explore governance and politics in his state and the nation. Contention over whose list of chairmanship candidates should River State Independent Electoral Commission divide APC, featuring Emeka Beke against Tony Okocha. So whose list should be honored by the Electoral Commission? And INEC prepares to conduct by-elections in 2 senatorial districts, 5 federal constituencies, and 9 state constituencies on Saturday, August 16th, as parties finalize their campaigns. Thanks again for joining us on the program. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga. Let's get started with what's first playing out in River State. August 30th, River State Electoral Commission will be the elections will be approaching just between now and August the 30th. There will be the local government election in that state. But the Emeka Beke-led River State APC chapter has called on the River State Independent Electoral Commission not to deal with any other group other than the party itself. Speaking to journalists in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, the party's publicity secretary, Darlington Nwogju, revealed that they had written to the commission informing them of submitting of a subsisting judgment, affirming Mr. Beke as the party chairman. He further confirmed that they have been screened. They have screened and shortlisted their own candidates for the upcoming August the 30th local government elections.
In River State has written to the RISEC as at August the 5th, informing them of the fact that there is a subsisting judgment of court which has not been vacated, and that judgment validates the leadership of Chief Emeka Beke, and that they should be warned. It's like a caveat emptor. Do not deal with any other person outside the leadership of Chief Emeka Beke. But, secondly, the RISEC chose to recognize persons unknown to us as persons who should submit or nominate candidates in the name of the APC. As part of our preparations and readiness to participate in the August 30th, 2025 elections, we have nominated candidates across the 23 LGAs in River State. And by the force of law, by our very party constitution, these candidates, these persons, these individuals remain the authentic candidates of the All Progressive Congress for the August 30th, 2025 elections in River State.
Well, interesting days ahead, apparently. Let's come back to Lagos, where a magistrate court sitting in Ogba, Lagos State, has ordered the release of the passenger accused of unruly behavior and assault aboard an Ibom Air flight. That's Ms. Comfort Emmanson. Magistrate Olarewaju Salami struck out the 5-count charge, discharged and freed Ms. Emmanson following the withdrawal of the charge made against her by the police.
Up until Sunday, August 10, 2025, not much was known about Comfort Emmanson, who went viral for alleged unruly behavior and assault aboard an Ibom Air flight traveling from Uyo to Lagos.
She has slapped her eye. You want to grab a quick pic? She has slapped her. She's destroying the aircraft. Tell her, leave me. See,
A statement from the airline subsequently indicated that the unfortunate incident arose because of the refusal of the passenger to switch off her phone during takeoff, as required by extant international civil aviation regulations. The very next day, Monday, August 11th, she was swiftly docked before a magistrate court on a 5-count charge for assault, unruly and disorderly behavior, as well as willful damage of the airline divider, valued at about $2,500. She was granted bail by the court in the sum of 500,000 naira, with 2 sureties in like sum. But following her inability to meet the bail conditions, she was remanded at the Kirikiri Correctional Center till October 6. IBOM Airline and the Airline Operators of Nigeria, AON, also went ahead to impose a lifetime no-fly ban against her. These measures swiftly triggered a backlash from many Nigerians and groups, including the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and the Nigerian Bar Association. While condemning Ms. Emmanson's actions, many also pointed at the double standards exhibited, especially in comparison with that of Fuji musician Kwamwon, who was given a lesser punishment with no charges filed against him.
Wait now, say you strong, why you not wait?
48 hours after her remand, the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, asked IBOM Air and ValueJet, whose officials were involved in the separate incidents with the 2 passengers, to withdraw their complaints against them. In a statement shortly after, the minister said he decided to withdraw charges against Ms. Emmanson and Kwamwon after a review of the incidents involving the 2 airlines and appeals from well-meaning Nigerians. Following the withdrawal of the charge in court, Magistrate Olanrewaju Salami struck out the 5 counts, discharged and freed Emmanson, while advising her to always exercise wisdom in her future conduct, no matter the level of provocation. Although she didn't speak to reporters after her release, Ms. Emmanson later took to her social media handle, where she thanked everyone who supported her during her ordeal. She, however, disclosed that she was still in pains and would need to get medical treatment before releasing her version of the incident. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
Well, so that's the latest as far as the issue of Ms. Comfort Emmanson and Kwamwon. They regard these issues now as Kwam 1 and Kwam 2, just on the lighter side. The actions of the federal government, whether it's sending the right or the wrong signal. So that's just a comprehensive report by our correspondent, our judiciary correspondent, Shola Shoyeli. But let's tell you what's playing out, what's going to be playing out in the next, say, 48 hours across the 2 senatorial districts, specifically Edo Central, where we're going to be having the election because the governor, he was a senator, he became governor, he resigned his position, so that seat has to be filled. So there's going to be an Edo Central senatorial election, and of course Anambra as well, Anambra South. We're going to also have that election in Anambra South. So if my producer can give me that slide I'm looking for. So in state constituencies, we have about 9 state constituencies, about 2 senatorial districts, as well as 5 federal constituencies. So if you look at your screen, you will see the distribution of where the local governments that it will be taking place in, the number of registered voters, and every other detail that is important to you. If you're within this area, it's important you go out and vote for candidates of your choice who will represent you at the legislative arm, both at the federal and the states level. List that we have, from Edo to Anambra, I've listed that, and then if you look at the distribution of across states and of course the federal constituencies, that's how it's distributed as is concerned. But let's come back to the studio and bring you some more reports. That the latest Amnesty report on the Southeast has indicated that the police, army, and the regional security outfit, Ebubeagu, and non-state actors, is it accused them now, indicted the police, the army, and the Ebubeagu and non-state actors for massive killing forced disappearance, and various violations of human rights in the region. According to the report, over 1,800 people were killed by both state and non-state actors between January 2021 and June 2023 alone. Amnesty International urges government to act fast and stop the killings in the region.
Of the Amnesty International Nigeria are here for the launch of a report on southeast Nigeria. The report, which is titled A Decade of Impunity, chronicles attack and unlawful killings in the region since 2016. Officials give some insight on the content of the report.
Part of our findings show that gunmen killed over 400 people in Imo State between January 2019 and December 2021. So these killers often emerge from their camps. They don't even mask their faces as they do in the past. Nigerian security agencies, including the military and police, committed unlawful killings, arbitrary arrest and detention, torture, enforced disappearance, and destruction of property.
Our work is always to ensure that lives are protected everywhere in the world, and the responsibility for protecting lives must be taken seriously. We must all ensure that lives are protected at all times and everywhere.
It's time for the business of the day as the report is officially launched. The report highlights key findings, including total number of people killed between 2021 and 2023, attacks between farmers and herders, attacks by IPOB members, and military reprisals, amongst others. Beyond the findings, however, the report also makes key recommendations for addressing the situation. The organization also wants the governments to intervene speedily to stem the tide.
Our main call is for the Nigerian authorities to uphold their constitutional and international human rights obligations by guaranteeing, protecting, and ensuring the right to life, physical integrity and liberty, security and safety of the people, and they have to stop the madness going on in the southeast. It has to stop.
Although the security situation in the southeast has been a subject of debate by many, it is hoped that this report will open new frontiers for conversations around finding lasting solutions to the problem.
All right, I'll take a quick break. When we'll come back, we'll bring you more details and stories. Join us again. Welcome back. The National State Governor Abdullahi Sule has visited the Keffi Correctional Center where 16 inmates reportedly escaped. The governor noted that the visit was to understand the reasons behind the Tuesday early morning incident and how his administration can stall a reoccurrence. He disclosed that most of the inmates at Keffi facility are awaiting trials in courts within the FCT and not that of the states.
From what you saw in the news, it is confirmed that there was a jailbreak of 16 inmates actually escaped, but they were able to get 7 of them back. So far, 9 of them are still at large, and there was no fatality, but they actually injured some of the correctional center officials, and those ones are receiving treatment. I came to realize, number one, that majority of the inmates here are actually those awaiting trial at the courts at FCT. They are not awaiting trials at our courts here in the state. And I saw the condition that some of them are staying is not conducive. You know, a lot of them are actually sitting in one place and uncompacted on the floor. And I decided that today, the state government will actually go and buy the number of mattresses for all the inmates that have no mattresses so that they can get mattresses at least to have a place to sleep. So that is a decision that we have taken. I also spoke with them about their feeding. From all indication, there is no much problem about feeding. But in fact, some of the inmates answered directly that there are no problems with their feeding arrangement. You know, the name has been changed from prison to correctional center. So it is not a place where you are punishing people in prison without teaching them something that they can learn to come out from.
All right, we can also tell you that the Federal Executive Council has approved 7-year freeze on establishment of new tertiary institutions across the country in a bid to address duplication and improve quality of existing ones. According to the Minister of Education, who briefed journalists after the Executive Council meeting, access to tertiary education is no longer an issue in the country.
Members of the Federal Executive Council getting set for the week's meeting. President Bola Tinubu arrives and the meeting commences. The first item on the agenda is the swearing in of the chairman and the commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission.
And I will devote myself to the service and well-being of the people of Nigeria. So help me God.
A moment's silence is then observed in honor of late Chief Audu Ogbe, a 3-time member of the Federal Executive Council.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen.
The meeting then transits into a closed session. Almost 2 hours later, some ministers brief correspondents on key resolutions reached. First is a 7-year freeze on the establishment of new federal tertiary institutions across the country.
The shocking data that we're seeing today, we have 199 universities that less than 99 candidates applied to seek to go to those universities. 64 colleges of education had 0 candidates choosing them. So if we want to improve the quality of our tertiary institution and not be a laughing stock across the world, the FEC decision today is the most pragmatic and the best for our educational system.
The minister adds that some of the institutions already established could also be reviewed.
The fact that those acts were signed by the president doesn't mean those tertiary institutions will see the light of the day. The president has already approved giving us the go-ahead to set the guidelines based on this. So, and I'm going to use this public podium to appeal to our politicians, more importantly our legislators. We don't need to open more of this tertiary institution. And today is a good day. The president has put a full stop and full break on this.
The Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement also presented 6 key points to the Federal Executive Council, which were approved.
The second one is that ministers are requested to forward to the BPP a comprehensive list of projects that have been awarded under their ministries and their parastatals for the 2024-2025 fiscal years for analysis and transmittal to the President's office. Honorable ministers have been directed that a significant number of their projects under the 2025 budget are procured using the open competitive bidding. Of course, details of compliance of this should be forwarded also to the BPP for action.
Council also directed that preference must be given to made-in-Nigeria goods in adherence to the Nigeria First policy, making sure that priority is given to local companies or Nigerian companies and organizations as long as they meet international standard. Government-owned agencies have also been directed to ensure they comply with the Public Procurement Act in adherence to the Finance Act of 2020. From the Presidential Villa, Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
All right, we're hoping that we could get the governor of Gombe State, who is the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, but unfortunately, he couldn't join us due to some quick emergency engagement that couldn't make it to the show. But just before we go, let's tell you about the elections that are coming up on Saturday. It's a by-election is going to be taking place in 32 local government areas across two senatorial districts and 5 federal constituencies, as well as 9 state constituencies. So if you can see on your screen, so I'll do the honors of reading. In Adamawa, we have Ganya State Constituency, Anambra South Senatorial District. Anambra also we have Onitsha North 1 State Constituency. Edo we have Edo Central Senatorial District. In Edo State also we have of your Northeast, of your Southwest Federal Constituency. In Jigawa we have Babura Gariki Federal Constituency. Kaduna we have Zaria Kewaye State Constituency. Kaduna we have Chikun Kajuru Federal Constituency. Still in Kaduna we have Basawa State Constituency. When we head down up north to Kano or around Kano, close to Kaduna, we have Shanono Bagwai State Constituency, Kogi Okura 2 State Constituency. In Niger, we have Munya State Constituency. Ogun, we have Ikene, Shagamu, Remo North Federal Constituency. In Oyo, we have Ibadan North Federal Constituency. In Taraba, we have Karim Lamido 1 State Constituency. And in Zamfara, we have Kauranomada Namuda South State Constituency. So these positions will be filled based on about 4 resignations that happened out of the numbers we have, and the remaining as a result of the deaths of the lawmakers, unfortunately. So that is a breakdown or will play out. So if you're within this federal constituency or state senatorial district, it's a good time to set out to decide who represents you in the legislative arm of government, whether at the state or the federal level. And that's it on the program. Thank you for your patience, your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Ozoma. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.